Morning guys, it's Thursday today, the 13th of September, somewhere around about 8:30. I'm just having a coffee out of my RuneScape cup. So this would be, okay, I've done Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, steroids, so this is day 4. I felt really tired last night. I don't feel any better yet. My back is really gone back to really aching. My walking is pretty rubbish. So no kind of quick improvement on last time yet. Because last time, back in April, I noticed an improvement in my mobility on day 2. There's a few videos out there of me doing some weird exercises in the kitchen on my channel. You'll have to have a look if you're interested. But I was like so amazed at the time that it had such a radical improvement on my mobility, even on just sort of day 2, or I think it might have been in the evening of day 1 actually. So quite often after having steroids, with me there's a dip after I've had them, and I feel worse before I feel better. So I'm hoping I'm in that dip, and I'm going to come up out of that dip and start to feel better soon. Hope so, fingers crossed. Right, the other thing I just wanted to cover is a few of my subscribers. I think there's a little bit of confusion. I've probably not, over a few videos I've mentioned I've had this MRI scan and now I'm having another one and things like that. So I thought I'd just clear it up. Back in July, end of July, I approached my doctor, my GP. So that's not a doctor at the hospital. It's just my doctor at the at my local practice. And I said to him, that my left leg had weakened considerably over the last few months, and I'm never quite sure whether it's the MS doing that to me, or if it's a operation I had back in 2012 because I had a dodgy disc. I need a disc decompression, so I've got a disc pushing on my L4S1 back in 2012, and they rushed me in because I was in danger of something called cordia equina, basically losing bladder and bowel function. So they rushed me in. I had that done. I had a revision a couple of months later because the disc went wrong again. A bit more came out. I had to stay in for a week because I had a dural tear, which is where the sac that bathes your spinal cord and brain, whereas in my case the spinal cord was torn during the procedure, and I was leaking cerebral spinal fluid, basically. Fun. Not. Okay, so that was back in 2012. So, try and cut a long story short, I quite often have difficulty doing that. I went to my doctor in July. And I said to him, don't know if it's the MS causing me a weakness in my left leg, or if it's a possible problem with the disc I had with the operations in 2012. So he sent me for a lumbar spinal MRI scan. And I had that on the 24th of August. I had to wait quite a few weeks for the appointment to come through. So that was my lumbar MRI scan. Okay. Now, yesterday, which I mentioned in a previous video, I had a scan come through for an MRI head scan, just to check that my brain's still there and functioning. I'm hoping that it is. I think it is. So I've got to go and have that done. I can't remember the date, but it's a week on Sunday. I think it's the 23rd. Week on Sunday. That I'm going to that is being sent to me via the hospital. By my MS team at the hospital. They want to do a head scan, and the reason they want to do that is because I've had an attack or a relapse 3 times in the past 12 months. So they're just sort of, I suppose they're keeping more of an eye on me now. Now, the reason I haven't had my results for my lumbar spine is because I was due to go and see my doctor. After the scan, I had the scan on the 24th of August, and I had to wait about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, to get the results for it to all go through. And I was due to go and see my doctor on Tuesday this week, which was day 2 of steroids, but I couldn't because it clashed at exactly the same time. So I had to cancel my doctor, go and see my GP for the results of my lumbar spine, and go and have my steroids instead. So I'm having to like reschedule all that, and I've just got to ring up. But we've had just such a hectic week this week. I'm just having a day in, because going out every day is like wiped me out quite considerably actually. So I hope that's a little bit clearer. To summarise, got to ring my doctors for the results of my lumbar MRI scan in a few days, and I've got to go and have a head MRI scan at the hospital a week on Sunday on the 23rd. Yeah, there's quite a lot happening. Actually, I'm quite worried about the results of my lumbar MRI, because the last thing I want at the moment is another operation on my back, with the possibility of having to deal with even more pain than I'm dealing with now. Or you just don't know if something's going to go wrong, infection, them catch a nerve or something like that. I can't deal with any more pain, so I've got to factor that into my thinking. I'll also just say as well, sorry, I know this is going on a bit now. When I had my lumbar disc decompression in 2012, I'd got all the numbness and things and squeezing in my legs back then, and they thought it was the disc pushing on my nerve, but it wasn't sciatica, because I've had sciatica. They're the normal type of feelings, you know, pain that you get, like a shooting pain down your leg. It was different. It was squeezing and different sort of to sciatica. But back in 2012, when they did the decompression, I had absolutely no change in my symptoms or pain in my leg at all whatsoever when I'd had the operation done. No change at all. So that's what I'm trying to factor in now. If there is something showing up, I don't know whether to go ahead with it or not, because if I did, yeah, it's like a 50-50 chance. If they go in there and fix it, will I feel any difference whatsoever? If not, then I've gone through it all for nothing. If so, then brilliant. And I don't know, it just feels like a gamble. So I'll have to just see what they say. I'm really hoping there's nothing showing up on the report, to be honest, because I'm worried about it. Anyway, I've prattled on quite a bit, and I think my coffee's gone cold now. And thanks for bearing with me, guys, and all of your support. Really, really appreciate it. And Mrs. Bradley's still asleep. It's a bit too early in the morning for her at the moment, but I can't stay in bed that long. I just start getting with the aches and pains, so I have to get up. So bye-bye for now. Right, I'll try and hit that stop button. See you guys. Bye.